If I were to write a book about my life, the topic would be diving deep into a dreamer's mind. It's because my dreams are one of the top reasons that drive me forward, and it's one of the major motivations that I have in order to reach my goals. The idea came to my mind about a year ago when I was really frustrated that there weren't many e-commerce or online marketplaces here as back in my home country, and I thought one of the main things that every country should have is a proper job board, so people can find jobs and companies can hire proper talents. And the current situation here was really bad. The job board was 20 years old and it didn't have any functionality. It has been like that since the day one without any updates or anything like that. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons I decided to build a new job board with a modern design and much more functionality. So right now I don't have any investors. Till date, all the money that went into the company was from my pocket. So yeah, I wasn't looking for investors for the past year because I wasn't so confident that my job board would uh, be well received by the people. So I decided to launch a MVP first, and then see the results, and then look into investors. So if you look at my competitors right now, it's Jobs.ge and HR.ge. Jobs.ge started 20 years ago, and HR.ge started 13 years ago. If you look at both of their sites, they both look similar, and they both have similar functionalities. And if you were to post a job in Jobs.ge, what you would do is send a mail to the person who handles the website along with the payment receipt through the bank, and then the person posts it, which is a really big hassle for the companies because they can't post the jobs themselves. So that is one big issue that I fixed with my site. And you can also see that I've fixed a lot of other main concerns that people had with Jobs.ge. If you were to take a look at the competitor Jobs.ge, which is one of the biggest out there, you can see that the site charges anywhere from 30 laris up to 200 laris for a premium listing from the company to post a job. And the site itself gets around 150 to 200 listings per day. And if you take an average of 70 to 80 laris per listing, that comes around 4,000 to $5,000 a day in revenue. And the company is averaging about 2.5 to $5 million per year with such a poor platform and such bad functionality, which means the people have no choice just to use Jobs.ge because there isn't any alternative right now. So before starting Joli, and even right now, I'm a freelance graphic designer, mainly focused in user interfaces, and also a front-end developer. So, and I have experience working with some of the big startups in US, UAE, Canada, and Germany, and for the past 3 years. And I'm also a top-rated Upwork freelancer. One of the main reasons I got into startups were uh, because of one of the startup I was working with before as a user interface designer. The company was called Intro, and I was closely working with their CEO. And uh, that's one person who motivated me to building my own startup. And he's one of the reasons that I decided to do a startup and yeah, move forward with it. So my day starts at 9 a.m. and as a medical student, I go to the clinic and come back by 12 p.m. As soon as I get home, I start working on Joli and improving the platform itself. So I contact a lot of people in LinkedIn who are related to HR services and talent acquisition, and ask for feedback or suggestions. And if they have any suggestions, I mail it immediately to my developer, and he implements it in 1 or 2 days. And soon after that, I start my marketing process, which takes around 3 to 4 hours, mainly email marketing and social media marketing. And after that, I go back into designing some of the user interfaces as part-time, and also working with one of the other startups. I haven't been stressed out in a long while. It's because I don't always worry about a lot of things in life. Uh, yeah, I haven't been like this before. I was very much stressed in the past when I started business. Like, for example, when I started my Shopify store, I was so worried that I'll lose money and I'm not going to make enough. But yeah, obviously it failed, but still, all those experiences have made me better right now. So right now I'm not afraid of failure. That's one reason, I guess, I'm not worried so much. So if I weren't doing this, I would be doing just another startup, because startups are something that I love, and I love creating startups, and I wanted to be a serial entrepreneur in future. So if it's not this, it will be something else. Obviously my family and friends believe in me, but the most important answer is I believe in myself. That I think that one day all my dreams will come true, and that's one of my biggest motivation. Nowadays, I listen to a lot of podcasts and audiobooks. This is something I started very recently, and I started enjoying it. I started with how I built this podcast, and that was something that I really enjoyed. Some of the biggest companies were talking about their successes, and I felt really motivated with those. And I also keep learning new things every day. I'm learning a new programming language. So one of the challenges I took 2 years ago was that I would learn something new every month, and I have done that till date. So right now my work schedule is very flexible, but I work every single day, even on Sundays. But when I feel exhausted or burned out, I take a day off, or go out, visit new places. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. What motivates me is always my dreams, which are to achieve something big in life. And I've always been a huge fan of people in tech industries like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and so on. I was always into tech from a very, very young age. And in future, I wanted to do something. I wanted to contribute something into the tech world. So rather than saying a big personality, I'd say the CEO of my previous startup company that I was working with is one guy I really admire. One reason was because he was a really motivated man, and he did his work perfectly. Like he was such a perfectionist, and I have never seen a guy so motivated as him. And he always spreads motivation to everyone else too. And everything he did, I really admired, and we were really close working on that company. Even though it just started recently, it's because of this person that the company is what it is right now. So one thing I always do is that I do this period of short time bursts rather than doing a marathon. So I turn off my phone, put my laptop on do not disturb, and keep working for like 45 minutes. That's a short time burst. And during this time, I'm really focused, and after that I take a break for like 20 minutes and then continue with another short time burst. And doing this really helped me stay in focus during a short time. Like I don't think that anyone can stay in focus for a long time, so that's why I do this. So my top three apps would be Facebook Messenger, Spotify, and Upwork. Spotify, because I listen to music all the time. Even when I'm working, I listen to focus music and white noise. And Facebook Messenger, because I have a lot of connections on Facebook, and that's how I reach people. And Upwork, because that's how I earn my income. Yeah, as I mentioned before, one of the best podcasts I've heard in my life is How I Built This. Uh, it's because it really motivated me, and it's so amazing to hear these people's story, how they jump started their business, and how they took it to what it is right now. I would choose one of the co-founders of Airbnb, Joe or Brian. So it's because the story of Airbnb really amazed me, because they didn't have any scalability plan, or never thought of the future or how big it could be. And that made them unique, because they learned it through the web. And because of that, obviously they have a lot of experience. Yeah, that's the reason. My company helps the local community to find their dream jobs. I think right now a lot of startups are emerging. One reason is because government is promoting startups, and they're actually giving grants to startups, and also for foreigners, helping them build a good startup community here. But still, I don't think that there are a lot of startups that are focused just on Georgia. Rather, they're focused on more on a global approach. So yeah, one of the biggest pros is you can start up a business very easily. You can register the business within a day. And another pro is the cost of living and cost of setting up things. It's really cheap here to build a new startup and develop it. One of the cons will be the biggest issue that I have is the language. It's really hard to communicate with the locals, and without knowing the native the native language. I have very big hopes for this country. I think in 10 years it'll be very much developed, and if I were to fly back right now and come after 10 years, I think I would be really surprised on how much it improved. So yeah, I think it'll be very developed in the next 10 years. So you can see the MVP of the site right now at Joli.ge, Joli.ge. And to know more about myself, you can visit my LinkedIn profile or Facebook. My name is Amil Asokan, and it's spelled Amilasokan. And to know more about my works in the past, you can visit my Upwork profile. You can just Google top freelancers in Tbilisi, and you can see my name there. It's Amil Asokan.